Hi there everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Krista here to do the monthly forecast for the sign of Capricorn. This is for Capricorn sun, moon, and rising signs. This is for the month of November 2018. I really hope that you enjoyed your October 2018 reading. This could be a message for a particular Capricorn tonight. Six of Swords. This is really nice, actually. Sailing away from choppy to smooth waters. So that could be a special message for somebody there. Yeah, I hope that you found your October messages helpful and healing, as I always hope they are. So today we're going to be doing a fairly simple but yet comprehensive 5-card Celtic spread for any pressing issue for you at the time of this viewing. I do consider it a general reading, so please take the messages and apply them as you wish. As always, I'll get jumper cards from the oracle decks at the end of your reading for additional messages. So, what are messages for Capricorn for the month of November? Keep shuffling here. Capricorn, November 2018. I could be dealing with a Cancer and a little bit of emotional disappointment. Or you could have been moving really quickly towards something that was emotionally unfulfilling. Again, anytime I see jumpers here, they could just be specific messages for very certain Capricorns. But I mean, at the same time, I don't take too much stock in them. It's just interesting to see if they come up in the reading sometimes. And there we have it. So I'll use the bottom of the deck for general energy for you. This is for the month of November. Oh, that 9 of Cups, gorgeous. As I just mentioned to Sagittarius, I do the readings in order, so it does turn into late evening by the time I get to yours. So I apologize, I have to invest in some lighting. But I really hope you can see this. Gorgeous energy in the 9 of Cups. This is very celebratory energy. It could be overindulgent energy. There could be some Christmas parties in the month of November for you, for example, or just an event, or just a sensation throughout the whole month. This isn't speaking to one thing, but as the overall energy for the month of November for you, it's looking pretty fun, I'll be honest. Again, I think the only alert, sort of red flag here would be an overindulgence, but you know, all things being equal, maybe you deserve to let loose this month and maybe a celebration is necessary. It's a fairly social card, for example. You're kind of, you start at the party, so you're waiting for people to catch up. So you could be feeling rather jovial this month, Capricorn. So what a pleasant beginning of your reading for you, in my opinion. Look at these gorgeous cards for you. Oh boy. Oh, I'm loving it. Here we go. Nice. Okay, so yeah, distinct individuals in your environment. If you're not dealing with these specific individuals, it's these energies. So as I always do, I'm just going to do a snapshot with what we have here in front of us, and then I'll go through their individual positions. Most prominent things I'm noticing are these 2 individuals here. We have a very likely a Cancerian woman, and we have you, right? That's you. And the Chariot did jump out a little earlier. What was it next to? A little bit of emotional heartache. Yeah, so it might just be, and there's some sentimentality here. And then of course, you know, the outcome card is, you know, emotionally walking away from something that doesn't work. It doesn't mean an entire relationship, by the way. The 8 of Cups does not mean walking away from it's not throwing the baby out with the bathwater, okay? In fact, it's the opposite. It's saying, you know, what can I glean from this? What's good from this? And what am I emotionally willing to walk away from that doesn't work in this structure anymore and switch it up and create a new story or narrative for this chapter of our lives to continue. So this could actually be a very positive card. You do have a little bit of a battle or a journey ahead, but as I said, it's almost like you could consider this to be emotionally taxing. This is physically taxing, you know, if we were to bring these cards energetically into the real world, that's what it would feel like. But you know what? Your overall energy is a celebration. It's overindulgence. Now, just make sure that it's not overindulgent in the emotional world or that you're being sucked in, for example, here. I don't see this being a problem even if you were, because a walking away from something, I really get the sensation that you were hoping that something would be a very specific way. It isn't. So you're taking the good that's left from what wasn't exactly what you want it to be, and then you're leaving the rest behind in order to move forward with this person, very likely. So the individual, if she is not a Cancerian, or he, if you are a Capricorn woman watching, for example, this is you just with masculine energy. It's just yin energy. It's active, as opposed to perhaps, this feminine energy, which is yang, which is receptive energy. So this could very well be you as a female, and then the individual here could be a man, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, who you would consider it to be a little bit emotional or like emotionally capable, okay? All the same, very beautiful card. These are both very mature energies. They have a lot to give, a great deal of compassion and wisdom. There's a great deal of security in this card here. A lot of generosity. Like when I see these two cards together, for example, if this was a couple, this would be a power couple. But not like in the sense of, ooh, look at them at the party. They're a power couple. Look at all their nice stuff. It's not about that necessarily. They may have nice stuff, but they're a power couple in the sense of their commitment. This is very committed, mature, compassionate, sensual, sensitive, tactile energy. Really nice to see these here. Like I said, there's one slightly difficult card here with the 10 of Wands, but you know what? It's something that you took on yourself. It's a challenge or a goal or theme or task that you took on yourself, and it's interesting just because I know what position this is sitting in, and I feel like you may not see this clearly. I think you could, if you're not careful, right? Or maybe this could be helpful in that sense. You could feel like you're shouldering a big burden here, or that you're carrying the weight of, say, an entire relationship or an entire business deal or contract or relationship really of any kind. Frankly, this could be between you and a child or an ex, a coworker, okay? It's a general reading, so use it to the best that suits you best. But ultimately, in terms of your role in the situation, which is where this sits, it just feels burdensome, right? It feels heavy, could feel taxing, but it's not like you're not getting anything out of it. Like, I don't think there's 1 second here where you're like, this is all for naught. Why did I sign up for this? That type of thing. I think as long as you look at the big picture here, you'll be really satisfied. And you're a Capricorn. Like, there's something that can be just flat out fulfilling by just doing this. You might need this in your life. You might need this type of energy in your life. Do you know what I mean? So, it's 10th house energy. Your icon is the goat. Like, you've seen what kind of mountains they climb, right? So Very interesting. Let's get into each card in its position. For some reason, if you hear some intense machinery, my neighbor turned a huge loud machine on. I'm not sure what it is. I hope you don't hear it, but I do. Slightly distracting. Anyway, I hope you don't hear it. Also hope she turns it off soon. In the position of your work, we have the Queen of Cups. So yeah, this could be in the workplace or someone that's helping you work, or an attitude that you take on in the workplace. Maybe you just need to become this person in the workplace. But this person or their energy will be very important in the month of November for you. Very important. So you could be bringing this energy to the workplace, for example. Perhaps someone thinks that you are very generous and emotionally available and mature, or you need to provide this in the workplace. On the other hand, if someone is in your life and they are this person, then their work world will make their way into your world. That sometimes happens. If that's the case here, try not to get wrapped up in it. If it's not yours to deal with, maybe just let them vent, let them get it off their chest. This could be part of what's going on here, where there's this sense of, you would rather them not, or you'd like them to somehow conceal that, or you don't think or feel it adds maybe to the relationship, or it could feel like a burden. And that's a very specific example. But you're not clinging to it. I don't think you're asking for more here. And I think you eventually set yourself free from expectations. Okay? So all in all, it's actually really nice to see here for you. But ultimately in the workplace, you could have to express this type of energy, or this energy is being expressed to you, and it really makes an impact on you. So again, really generous, compassionate, sensitive, I would say, appropriately emotional type of energy here in the workplace. In the home, this is where you're featured. So this is the card of Capricorn. Also, we can take a quick look at 10th house energy, which is the house that you rule. This is the public. This is institutions, okay? This is mastery, the boss. It's very closely aligned, in my view, to the Emperor, in an element in the Pentacles here. But, ultimately, like I said, there's a real grandfather feel to this. He's extremely wise, and he's still soft and generous. It's amazing. Sometimes when people get wise, like the King of Swords, for example, super wise, but like super cold. This is really warm energy. This is expressive, tactile, very down to earth, extremely practical. You'll notice there aren't actually any air cards here at all. So this is someone with their feet planted directly on the ground and pretty happy to be there. So very, very stable energy here for you in the home. And it could be what this is being counterbalanced with. As I said, let's say there were no other cards here except for these two. I would still say, even in a general sense, these are beautiful energies to have together. It's emotionally and practically mature. So really, really nice energy to see for you there. Here's what you have in the unexpected. Here is where there's a little bit of sentimentality. And the reason why I chose the word expectations a moment ago is because this is where we get sentimental. These are all emotional cards, right? Or this is where they're being expressed emotionally. So you could have just had your expectations set too great, set too high, set some standard that didn't suit or fit someone else's. Maybe you had even made an agreement with someone else or a pact, and somehow that for some reason it wasn't followed through. There could be this sense of, but why didn't you just do that? Or I was expecting this, or, and you don't even have to express this. Like I said, this is something that's going on in your own heart. But there's a longing here as well. So just beware of expectations this month and where they're coming from, what they mean. Are these being fully expressed and accepted within a partnership so that you can be ready to receive those, right? And I think that's what's going to happen. I think if you do make a need, again, in a general sense, however you apply this, a need known, someone will help take some of the pressure off. I think there's, like I said, with this beautiful general energy for the month, like something is the cause of celebration here. Something is feeling pretty emotionally successful. To the point of overindulgence. Maybe you're telling someone exactly how you feel. Because, and it's paying off for you. And, and you stepped into those mature, loving, practical, maybe let the chips fall where they may. It's more important to be honest type shoes. And it's paying off. And maybe that was the load on your back or the burden here. So the Ten of Wands really is, the end is in sight. You can see it, but you're carrying around this load on your back, this issue or a problem or a concern or, you can almost see here she's juggling all these burning pieces of paper. So, another way to examine this is to say she could put them down, right? She could put them down. Like maybe you're juggling something you don't need to. Maybe you're holding on to or carrying something that, why, right? Why? As I said at the very beginning, is this so much a part of your persona, your character, habit, lifestyle, etc., that this is what you do? And no judgment. I'm not talking about judgment. I'm just, asking questions like, is this just something you do? Maybe you enjoy it. Maybe you take this on willingly. This is a willing card. You did this willingly. But, is it coming? Do you feel it's unfair at the end of the day? This is a fairness card, right? Do you feel that someone else is pulling their weight? Do you feel like when push comes to shove, it's all on your shoulders? Just decide if this is a burden that you want to carry and it's real. Like if you willingly want to do this, or if you feel like you have to. Another cool thing about all of the tens is that it's the end, right? That's a completion. That's a completion. So you can put this down. You can put, she can just build a little safe little rock fire pit and then just burn everything that was weighing her down. And same with like the original imagery is this guy with, a bushel of sticks on his back. He's like a mile from the castle that he ends up bringing the bushel of sticks to start a fire so he can keep warm all winter. So ultimately, I think whatever's going on here in this card energetically for you is worth it. I don't think you're getting hardship from this necessarily. It's just, maybe it's what you, speaking of expectations, it's what you expect of yourself within this environment, okay? And as I said at the super start here, the Eight of Cups, I don't see you physically walking away from anything here. Like you're I was gonna say your tentacles. Your roots are in pretty deep. Like this is a really rooted card, very stable, long-term planning, long-term commitments, assets, resources. There's a huge amount of growth potential whenever I see a water and an earth court card together. Okay, that's the beginning. That's you can grow seeds in there 100%. But what are you growing, right? You just be careful what you're growing in there in this environment, very earthy and wet environment. Great growth potential. But, emotionally walking away from something here, again, I don't see this, the entire scene, commitment, contract, whatever this is for you. But it's almost like cutting your losses. Like, oh, I don't want to feel as though I have his expectations anymore. Or let's talk about what our expectations are. Okay, we're going to leave what doesn't work behind. You got to see here, like he's got a treasure chest, right? And he's moving forward. So, and the person or the persons or contract could be what's awaiting him. So, yeah, I don't see you necessarily physically moving away from anything here. Could very well be the case. It could be, depending how many Capricorns are watching, sure, there could be a Capricorn around the world who is walking away from something. But, to me, there just aren't enough wands. There's no 8. There's no real travel cards here. So I think you're just willing to put down an emotional burden that doesn't work for you anymore so that you can celebrate and enjoy existence is frankly what I'm seeing. The dragonfly. So this is illusion. Yeah, I mean, here right up with, and I'm not dissing the Six of Cups. Six of Cups is actually a really sweet, sincere energy. Like this is a really sweet card. It's like a hamster wheel is the problem, right? It's like this is going to go nowhere, but it's still sweet. It's like that. It's like the illusion of something can be fascinating. It can be great. It can even be a muse. It can be intoxicating. It can be invigorating. But at the end of the day, it's an illusion. Like it doesn't exist. So it's almost like, take it for what it's worth. Take it for what it's worth. Don't give something that doesn't deserve your energy or affections more time and energy than they deserve. And be honest with yourself in a very practical and emotionally sincere and mature way about what it is that you really, really want to celebrate or, share with somebody here. Share with someone. I think illusions are interesting illusions can be interesting if they're examined because they can show us kind of a dream state, right? Kind of the sense of what would be an illusion examined is saying, well, why would that seem attractive to me in the first place? That type of thing. So just an interesting element to play with in the month of November for you or for you to examine. You could even just be attracted to dragonflies and this is a totem animal for you. And if that's the case, consider this a synchronicity and you're on the right path. I always feel that way about synchronicities. Here with serendipity, one of my favorite cards out of the deck, to be honest with you. This is really just luck landing on your doorstep, but it's not just any luck. It's the taking of it. Lots of people have opportunities and then they just go, oh, I have that opportunity. Oh, there it went. Same with this. This is almost like, oh, look, I can have this fascinating existence, this beautiful, indulgent, emotionally, I'm going to say wealthy environment here. Okay, like you have a lot to share. This is social. This is a celebration. You want to share that with somebody. So this is saying, come take my hand. So in that sense, it's almost like the Nine of Cups and the King of Pentacles together. It's like, you know what, let's do this. We've done our due diligence. Like, I think you've been really mature about, okay, your concern or your theme this month. So, maybe run with it, roll with it, again, with the synchronicity, if something feels serendipitous, or you're on the right same page with someone, or you have an aha moment, consider that serendipity, Capricorn, and don't read into it. You have no swords energy here. There's nothing, at least from what I can see here, there's nothing intellectually or ideologically taxing for you this month. This is really all just about emotional enjoyment. Practical and emotional enjoyment. You could reveal something about yourself or let something be known, for example, and look at this, the word reveal is in that card. That just sets everything in its place too. Like maybe something just needs to be known here, specifically around this sentimental energy or this longing energy, okay? So either be clear and honest with yourself or someone else about what that is. And then understand if this burden is something that you want to continue because it fulfills something for you, or it's necessary right now, whatever the reason, or if it's something that, when you look at it, you're like, why am I doing this by myself? Why am I carrying this load? Just some questions to ask yourself. Getting to know each other. I think Sagittarius just had this. So as you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. Number one thing I say whenever I see a partnership card, of course, this is the romance angels. If you're not partnered, this is about your relationship with yourself, obviously, right? You are a human being. You are the first friend that you need to have. So really pay attention to that if that's the case. Really get to yourself, what it is that, you really want to celebrate, what's really in your heart. Like when you're honest with yourself and when you're not trying to please anybody else or keep up with the Joneses, like when you're not doing any of that, when you're not transfixed with illusions as opposed to dreams or goals, right? What are you really doing for yourself? Who are you really at the end of that? In a deep sense. I think this is a lovely month for you to get deep, Capricorn. If this is a partnership of any sort, frankly, maybe just come from this place. Like, I was feeling nostalgic the other day over, and then fill in the blank, and then, see what transpires out of that. It could be more than your wildest dreams. It could actually surprise you. The other person could be on the same page. But even if they're not, it's a great opportunity to develop communication around what each member of this relationship or union or environment really needs and what they're willing to give and accept. Because this is going deep and these are deep roots here, right? So yeah, I see this as a very opportunistic card for you. Beautiful, beautiful energy. If you are just about to date or in the dating realm, however, and you literally are getting to know each other, come from a heart space. I think the time of impressions are over, I think not that you would ever dream of, and thank God for Capricorns, because you would never dream of being fake, which is awesome. But I think in showing the courage around your emotional intelligence, right? Because you're a strong and sturdy person to begin with. I think that you'll sort of draw that out from somebody else. Like you can really play the leader, not necessarily the boss, even though you probably have that characteristic. But you could really play leader right now in how the emotional energies in the month of November for you and your loved ones plays out, which is really cool, Capricorn. I'll be honest with you, really cool to see you emotionally developing in such a beautiful way here. I'm just going to get another jumper card out of the Angel Oracle for a final message for you. I just see a lovely month ahead. I think if you're struggling at all with any emotional commitments or energies here, just rest assured that you can put what doesn't work for you in your past. you can put it aside. You can put it down, okay? You don't have to juggle. You don't have to carry a weight by yourself. Okay? That 10 is an ending. It's time you can put it down. It's time to light that fire, you know, keep that home warm. Here's power. Yeah, like it's funny because nothing in the reading is screaming power over, but power with is really important. Power over invites abuse, right? Because you have authority. It's authoritative power. Power with is true strength, because you and I are working in tandem with at least one other agent or individual who's on the same path or believes the same things you do. That's true power, Capricorn. So, you know, really examine where your power is. Power with, not power over. Also the power of the heart space, the power of the heart, power of forgiveness. The power of goodbye, right? The power of emotional honesty and practical wisdom, right? I just see a really beautiful month ahead for you. I think you could feel in your personal power by end of month. So pretty exciting reading for you overall, Capricorn. Really pleased to see the outcomes for you. I think generally speaking, you're just doing a lot of personal development, okay? Some emotional and personal development this month, which is going to wind up looking pretty celebratory. So enjoy. If you have a second to comment below, I love hearing from you. If you haven't subscribed, do that now. It really encourages me to continue doing this work. And of course, keep liking and sharing my videos. I appreciate that so much. So until we meet in the next video, dear Capricorn, take excellent care. Bye for now.